For today's vlog, I'm going to discuss a certain topic with regard to studying in Canada. So I've invited two friends of mine. Basically, ang common denominator namin, we're all from Singles for Christ in Makati. And then considering that I immigrated first, and then little by little as time went by, little kasi nalalaman na sila ay nag-migrate din to Canada through the student pathway. And since pare-pareho naman kaming lahat SFC, so the best way for me to talk about this topic is to invite them. Sila mismo, straight from their mouths, kung malalaman ninyo how they went to Canada, the struggles, the process in applying for the school that they chose to, and of course the programs, and of course yung personal life, adaptability in Canada, and of course the future plans. So again, maraming salamat. I've invited two SFCs of mine, friends of mine. One is from Manitoba and one is from Ontario, and I am from Alberta. So right now, iba't-ibang time zone kami, no? So first, I would like to introduce to you a good friend of mine. Matagal ko na siya nakasama. As in, bago kami siguro umalis ng SFC, palagi kami magkasama. Ever since na nagsimula rin kami sa SFC. Ever since ba nag-SFC tayo, magkasama na tayo. So, I would like to introduce to you Ben John Cabigas. He's in Ontario right now. And of course, I would like to introduce to you isa sa mga pioneers ng SFC Makati. Before I joined, he's already a household name in SFC Makati. I would like to introduce to you Carlos Cecilio. He is from Manitoba. So, guys, maraming salamat for joining me today. It's a Saturday. I know it's dinner time. I know that you still have so much to do today, but thank you for spending your time with me. So, first, I would like to invite you guys. So, simulan na natin, Benjan. Can you introduce yourself, especially paano ba tayo nagkakilala? Paano mo nakilala si Carlo? What were you doing before you came to Canada?
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Ben John Cabigas. I am a friend again of Irvin's and Carlos. So all three of us met in Singles for Christ in Makati. I first met si Irvin Singles for Christ. We were, I guess, in one of our assemblies, and then I learned that Irvin was a friend with my sister, who was a member as well. And then, lots of mutual friends and lots of people came into the community later on, and just became closer and closer. Got to serve together in so many other ministries, and we even became household mates. And we patalon-talon kami ng household. Saan na lang. Pati mga household leaders na narito sa amin. Saan ba talaga kami dalawa? And it's been fun. And same, Carlo. I got to SFC Makati, chapter of Makati Singles for Christ, and Carlo was already a big name there, together with a lot of other big names. Of course, our dearly departed brother. And listen so much to Jason. Miss you a lot, bro. Wherever you are, pray for us. Sina Taffy, lots and lots, sina Les, yung mga yan. Like, and they really painted a picture of the chapter. This is gonna be fun. Like, you better stick here. This is gonna be fun. And that's why I stayed. And I'm very happy to be invited here. And you never know these things. You're friends with them, and you don't really think it's gonna go to anything much. And here we are. We're in Canada. So we're in Canada. Who would have known? So career. I worked for my father's business for almost 20 years, and we shattered the business, and now I'm here because I just want to pursue something for myself now and hope it works, God willing. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ben. And I would like to introduce to you a household name in SFC Makati. So talagang isa siya sa mga talagang hinahangaan namin in terms of service. So, Carlos Cecilio, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Irvin. Nice to see you again, Benjan. And both of you, thank you for inviting us to chat with you, Irvin. By the way, para sa mga nakikinig, I'm Carlo Cecilio. Yung nga, common denominator namin, how I met Irvin and Benjan sa Singles for Christ. Naalala ko pa yung namin ni Irvin, yung pinaka-memorable ko experience, yung parang, natin, yung parang Amazing Race.
I know! Yeah!
Oo, parang doon talaga tayo nag-bond
Yeah.
kami ni Irvin. And then, si Benjan naman, lagi nandiyan din naman yun si Benjan sa all the events. And Benjan's really friendly. So once in a while pa nagkadikit kami, nagkakakwentuhan din kami ni Benjan. So, and I know your sister rin, si Tita.
Yep.
Diba? So I know her. So yeah, there's lots of connections between the three of us. I'm basically a wedding photographer and entrepreneur along with my wife, Heidi, which I met also in Singles for Christ, and now we're Couples for Christ. And yun yung backstory. And we just realized, kaya we want to be here. Or am I going ahead, Irvin? O intro muna. Backtrack konti.
So basically, thank you for introducing yourselves. Again, guys, ang common denominator namin talaga is SFC. Probably, I just realized we can probably talk about SFC in a separate video, but for today, it's more of exploring their decision to actually study in Canada. As mentioned by Benjan, you've been working with your dad for how long now?
So I joined the company in father ko 2003. I left the company. Well, we shuttered the company in 2014. 11 years, yeah.
11 years, eh? Ano ang position mo with your dad? With your dad's company?
Well, I joined. I was an associate. I was a sales associate. So from the bottom talaga. And then when I left, I became a sales manager. And yeah, that was it.
Okay. And then you, Carlo, I know that you've been a photographer and you're a professional photographer as well. So is that full-time yung imagination mo, no?
Yes, full-time until nagsarili kami ng wife ko, si Aid. Set up our own business. We started to have children, and then from there, later on, we'll share our journey and how we wanted to shift here.
True. Okay. So basically, now that we've mentioned, past is past. Now, whatever happened in the Philippines is a prelude of what is now in the present, diba? Now, we met in Makati, but we actually reconnected again here in Canada na. Kasi lahat kami, hindi na kami active sa Singles for Christ. Like Carlo and I were already in CFC. Si Benjan is in search of that elusive love long days. Yeah, so let's talk about your point of entry, your decision to come to Canada. So basically, you are in Canada right now. Both of you are in Canada right now on a study permit. Si Benjan is currently single, while Carlo is married with family, two beautiful kids. Now, I just wanted to discuss with you, why did you decide to enroll, or why did you decide to actually study further? I mean, you're already successful in your careers now, but what made you decide to study?
So yes, actually, I thought about it long and hard na rin. Having left my father's business, there really wasn't that many opportunities in the Philippines for me to get. Parang the only companies accepting me were call centers, which is okay. I'm not saying they're bad. It's just that to achieve, a good career there and earn a good amount of money through that industry would take, the same amount of time I spent in my previous career. And sabi ko, I would be so old by then. I wouldn't have enough energy to be able to sustain that siguro. So I thought to myself, I need to look for other opportunity which would be faster and get me to achieve at least, a little bit of my dreams, my own home, my own car, sustain myself, that kind of lifestyle. So I thought about going abroad, and of all the countries that were given as an option for me, I just thought Canada would be the best. The other two would have been Australia and New Zealand. I'm pretty sure Carlo and UCAP would have thought about it as well during their journeys. But yeah, and I just thought about it, and I just really the one thing that I thought of was I would not be able to handle yung English na mga bansa na yun. I can't handle the accent. Whereas here in Canada, it's not that much harder because I can deal with the American sounding accent, which is better for me. And that's how I pursued it. Now back at student, mostly because there was no other pathway available for me. I couldn't get in as an experienced worker, as a skilled worker. So no work permits, and everybody was telling me, yeah, if we assess you, really is a student pathway, so that's where we're gonna go. And that's how I got in.
Okay, thank you, Ben. And you, Carlo?
In our case naman, actually, I wasn't really looking for migrating. It was actually si Heidi, my wife, who first caught this idea from her friends, because we have a lot of friends here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So she started researching, and eventually sinama niya ako. We started researching on this, and two things lang naman yung parang driving factor namin to really consider leaving our country. It's really the children's future ang consideration namin, because we have two kids. I have an 8-year-old and 4-year-old daughter, and the state of our industry and the business is very competitive na, and we thought na it's time maybe to change industries, careers. Nandun kami sa parang crossroads na yon, na do we really want to keep on shooting? Because kami medyo, kayo mga mga young ones. Kami medyo mga nasa mid-40s na ni Hyde. Para to give hope rin to the other viewers na in their 40s. Kami mid-40s na kami ni Hyde. So sabi namin, we have to think about beyond shooting and beyond retirement. And I think yung parang comparing it to the Philippines and this one, parang mas maraming pros. Mas maraming mga parang plus compared to staying at home. So, yun talaga yung maano namin after weighing other, like si Benson nga, yung Australia, pag mapapaisip ka rin in New Zealand. Pero parang ito yung best. And we have a lot of connections. Yun yung isa pang importante to help us start over. So, marami kami talagang friends here in the place. So, yun talaga yung nag-push namin. And like Benjon, analyzing, wala akong ibang pathways na available until this one. Pero ako naman, I love learning. I love to learn again. And it was an opportunity for me to study again, which I really wanted to do before. But business happened, marriage happened, and yun, hindi ako makapag-aaral. Pero ito, may opportunity na, which I'm really enjoying now as well.
Yeah, I guess to be honest, a lot of Filipinos right now in the Philippines are considering leaving the Philippines. And unfortunately in Canada, yung mga profession kasi natin is something na hindi masyadong technical, pero at the same time, hindi yung mga industries na kailangan nila that will provide LMIAs, di ba? Nandun tayo sa middle eh. So, unfortunately, if we're going for the express entry, we're going to be in that position wherein we have not met the points in order for us to be invited as PR because of education, Canadian exposure, Canadian education exposure, and Canadian work exposure. If we have the LMIA, we could probably be invited as PR because we have that exposure as workers, but hindi eh. So a lot of people right now are chancing on studying, which is perfectly fine, di ba? At the end of the day, once you have the necessary skills, kasi sa Canada, even if you, kung sa Pilipinas, madali kang mag-shift ng industry, you can definitely do that, trial and error. But in Canada kasi very particular sila in terms of position, di ba? Usually may mga position na you cannot easily get into unless you have the necessary credentials. So I guess this is a good opportunity for you then to expand your horizon. So yun yung nakikita ko, and with the dismal situation that we have in the Philippines right now, sobrang nakakalpanlumo. ang hirap talaga ng buhay sa Pilipinas, di ba? I guess exacerbated na rin ito with the lack of plan na rin, the way the government is handling, which is fine, di ba? Hindi lang kayong dalawa ang gusto mag-aral sa Canada. May iba who went before you. May mga iba na same timeline as you went to Canada, and there are those who are planning. May iba nga, may nakikita ko na high school pa lang, balak na nilang mag-migrate dito sa Canada and they want to study college na in Canada, di ba? So, at the end of the day, it's a personal choice, and I think this is something that no one should decide whether it's right or wrong. For me, as long as you're comfortable with your decision coming here to Canada, that's what matters, di ba? And of course, si Benjan, hopefully makahanap na ng love life dito sa Canada. So, guys, Benjan is single. He's in Ontario, di ba? Pero meron na akong nireto sa kanya sa Fort Mac in Alberta. But anyway, okay, now that you mentioned that you wanted to actually study here, I can probably reckon si Carlo. Marami siyang connections, marami siyang friends in Manitoba. Is this the reason why you chose Manitoba and not the other provinces in Canada? Carlo?
Ako, it was really a long process for both of us. Talagang ma-advise ko rin for those who are listening, talagang get the facts, do your research. Yun. Talagang ako, I think I spent like 2 months really analyzing all the provinces, all the pathways, all the schools. Nag-attend pa ako ng Educated Affair, which you can do also in Manila. It's officially sponsored by the Canadian Embassy, and all the schools are there, and the embassy explains the pathway and everything under the sun, under that option. So, nakatulong yun. And when I spoke to the school here in Winnipeg, which is yun, parang segue na to my marketing management program, nakita ko that it's really parang fit from what I really love to do. Yun din yung tip, if you're gonna study, gawin mo na yung gusto mo talaga. Hindi lang dahil just to makapasok ka, diba? So it's really something that you will love doing. Kasi babayaran mo na lang rin eh. Parang yun yung philosophy ko. Magbabayad ka na, bakit magpapakamiserable ka na hindi mo gusto yung inaaral mo? So yun. Yun din ang mga considerations.
So yun na naging consideration mo in choosing Manitoba. It's more of the pathway, yung differences in the province, yung different programs or offers ng provinces. Okay. And Manitoba, based from your research, is the province that has the best offer comparing it with other provinces.
Yes, like for me, low cost of living, yung provincial nomination program niya has it's not as stringent as the other, hindi siya ganun kadaming requirements. Like for example, my wife as a work permit holder has the opportunity to apply for provincial nominations within 6 months of continuous full-time work at any NOC code. So, any code. Yun minsan yung deal breaker sa ibang provinces eh. May kailangan 0 or 1 yata yung code. Or 1 year. Yun. So yung mga ganun. Just to have an example. Pinag-aralan ko lang mabuti.
Okay. So basically, so ang nauna muna is you chose the province first, and then when you chose the province, that's when you look for the school.
Yes.
Okay. Is it the same with you, Ben, na parang you also did what Carlo did, na you chose the province first, and then once you chose the province, that's the time that you chose the school, or was it more of the school regardless of the province?
So it started out like Carlos. I did my research, and Manitoba was coming out to be the cheapest option. I mean, not cheap. I mean, it was the most reasonable option, best bang for your buck. You get to go to a good school, just as good as any other school in any other province in Canada, and then you will be paying a reasonable amount of tuition, and then the returns for you would be much bigger, like what Carlos said. Manitoba has a very not really lax, but a more welcoming provincial nomination program as opposed to other provinces here in Canada. So that also attracted me to studying there. Now, why did my path diverge into Ontario, which is probably one of the most challenging provinces to stay in, to study in, and to apply for a provincial nomination, or for any sort of pathway, which is more of like a permanent resident type. Why here? Because I went through an immigration consultancy, and they are based in Vancouver. In case anybody wants to know, just let me know. I'll leave the details here sa video and cap if you want to consult with them. And little plug-in pa, no? All right, so they were kind enough to let me do my own research, and then when things weren't really working out for me with Manitoba, I chose a school there which was highly touted as a good one. But negotiations, not really negotiations, but discussions on letter of acceptance. We'll get into that. You don't have to worry about that, guys. It kind of fell through the cracks, and so the immigration consultancy said to me, "Wow, so now what? You only have a few months. I mean, this has been dragging for a couple of weeks now, a few weeks now. Do you want us to take over?" And I said, "Yes, go ahead." And they just immediately said, "You know what? We found you a school. It's going to be in Ontario. So yeah, it's not the province you wanted, but here are the benefits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5." And I said, "Yeah, let's go for that one. I just want to be in Canada already. And if you say that school is as good as you say it is, then let's do it." So that's how I found myself here in Ontario. And suffice it to say, naman, yes, I am enjoying myself. And yes, the challenges are there. But it, like any other challenge, you rise up to it. You feel like you're learning from it, and then challenges always make you feel like you're something to do. You feel more productive, and yeah, I'm looking forward to taking on this challenge.
Okay, so you mentioned you also did your research, and then you found Manitoba as your province of choice, but eventually
Yes.
something happened that you had to diverge from your original plan to actually going to Ontario. Now, my question is, your agency said that or recommended Fanshawe College. Diba Fanshawe College ka? Now,
Go Falcons.
in Fanshawe, what is the program that you enrolled in Fanshawe?
So, surprisingly, I am also taking marketing management, like Carlo. And why did I take that? Because well, it was my course back in the Philippines. That was my 4-year diploma course. And the immigration consultancy, I mean, I wish I had a better sounding story than like Carlos. If you want to study something, just go for what you want because you're paying for it. So I would have wanted something more on the lines of design. Pero the consultancy said, we're here to make sure that we can convince Canada immigration that you're here to study and you're going to come back to the Philippines. So it's these little things, the nuances of all these applications. So I had no choice. I had to go through marketing management. I had to convince IRCC that I'm here to study just to further myself. I'm not really here to migrate or anything like that. And that worked. In fact, I had to actually do that show, that song and dance in the airport in Pearson in Toronto. There was one immigration officer who wasn't convinced. So I had to really put on a show for him that, no, I'm just here to study. I'll be back in the Philippines before you know it. And with marketing and all that. So it worked. Yeah, good. But also, I'm also going to take another program fall of this year just to beef up my education credentials, because it was also my immigration consultant said that 1 year studying might not be enough points wise. You guys don't have to worry about the points thing. We'll talk about it later. And then yun, so I'm going to pick up another program just to beef up my education. And that one I'm kind of excited. It's project management. And because it's in demand, but at the same time, I'm amazed by marketing management because what I learned way back 20 something years ago. So Carlos thinking I'm also young. I know Cap's age, and we're not young. No,
Yeah, we're not.
we're not young. Alam ko yung age gap namin ni Cap. So Well, I was amazed that the thrust of marketing management is now digital marketing, and it's amazing. It's like, back then when I learned this 20 something years ago, it was just very theoretical and a little bit of how supermarkets work and how groceries work and how to market to a business to another business. Now we're talking about websites, and we're talking about SEO, we're talking about SEM, we're talking about optimization of websites, we're talking about CRM, customer relationship management. Oh my God, everything is just so in the future, and I'm just learning so much. I'm enjoying learning all of this. So I'm looking forward to what my next program will say and how into the future it is. And I just totally discovered that I also love learning things that are new. I probably will not stop getting courses in the future, maybe just a 12 or a 4, 8 or 12 week course, over and over, any other, whatever I can get my hands on. Maybe LinkedIn Learning. It's fun learning all this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, like what you said, you're actually enrolled with marketing management as a program, and then next year after marketing management, you will go on with project management. Tama ba?
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
I guess, siguro sa akin, even though, like what Carlos said, na parang considering magbabayad ka na rin lang, might as well go for the course of your choice. But at the same time, I think for Ben, you just have to find the beauty in that program. Like what you said, marketing management, nagulat ka with the SEOs. Right now, the shift in technology is so fast na parang lahat is technology ko na. Technology-driven na, di ba? Amazon, very effective in Canada. I think a lot of, even small companies have their own websites. In the Philippines, wala. Di ba? Lahat ng websites or companies in Canada, say for example, they're selling a product, you can order online. Di ba? Very convenient at your fingertips. I think for me, that's actually a good program kasi it will equip you eh. You just have to find your niche. Lalo ka na, you're into sales, di ba? I mean, at the end of the day, you can use that for your advantage eh. Just like what Carlo is doing right now, di ba? This is his program of choice, so definitely he's happy with what he's doing. And I think you will both be happy with it. Now, shifting over to Carlo. Carlo, you're also in marketing management, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And which school are you studying in?
I'm studying at the University of Winnipeg PACE. Kasi dalawa yung schools ng Winnipeg. It's the main undergraduate, and then there's PACE, which means professional applied and continuing education. So parang not exactly graduate school, it's a post-graduate school specialization. Hindi kasi siya masters eh. So but it's in between masters and undergraduate.
Okay. So you're also taking marketing management as a program?
Yes.
How long is your marketing management program?
Well, luckily, yeah, kaya rin yun ang kinuha ko here. It's a 2-year course which will give you a 3-year postgraduate work permit. So yun din yung one of my main decisions to get this. Kasi yun nga, yung iba puro 1 year lang, like what Benjan said. And parang circling back rin, I had to tie it in then to justify with IRCC na it was a business plan also of shifting my photography studio to become a marketing agency. So yun din yung aking that's my study plan that I submitted.
Yeah, so guys, actually being a student in Canada, you have to go through a rigorous process. It's not as easy as, okay, I have the money, I want to enroll, I've been accepted and done. No, the problem is you have to go through this IRCC to defend yourself and justify as to why you will be allowed to enter Canada. Kasi ang mindset ng IRCC right now, immigration officers for all applying for study permit, you have the plan of staying in Canada for good. Which is, I think, dapat ang immigration ng Canada should know this. And that's the reason why a lot of people are actually studying, because at the end of the day, you're not studying just because, okay, you wanted to stay in Canada or you wanted to go back to the Philippines or whatever country you're from. But the point is, first, economy, it will help. Secondly, you will be providing education to everyone. Diba? They may, even if they stay in Canada, they will be productive citizens of Canada. Yun lang I think na dapat baguhin ng immigration kasi Canada is in the process of recruiting a lot of people. Diba? Ang daming nag-i-issue dyan ng LMIA. Bakit hindi na lang natin i-utilize lahat ng mga estudyante magbabayan muna para magstay sa Canada, and eventually, if they decide, ano pinagkaiba nila sa LMIA? Yun yung puzzling for me. Kasi alam naman ng lahat ng immigration niya, lahat ng student na nag-aaral dito, gusto nilang magstay dito. Hindi sila, at the end of the day, napatunayan nila may pera sila. Kaya nga sila nag-aaral hindi naman cheap ang education ng Canada. Well, comparing it with the US or Australia, mas cheaper talaga ang Canada. But they have the means to pay. Hindi sila pabigat sa Canada. And then afterwards, alam mo yung leverage nila once they have that credential and graduate from a program. That's a proof na, meron akong knowledge as to certain aspect of this profession. Hindi ako pabigat na parang back from zero. Hindi, yun ang medyo unfortunately dapat baguhin ng immigration. But mindset ng immigration officers ang mindset nila is, how can you justify that you will not be staying in Canada for good, di ba? You're not just using this pathway to stay in Canada for good, di ba? Hindi ko maintindihan And then express entry, isa sa mga points na magpapaboost sa'yo is Canadian education, di ba? Di ba? Anyway.